Things okay. From time to time, he has a little work he wants to have done on the Strike Commander. Nose coming up, and away bus clock. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Both engines still off. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. All right. 16-point roll. No engines. Now, watch the little turn that Bob makes immediately from the air show center line with both engines off. That's a little safety valve, just in case he couldn't restart the engines in the Strike Commander. Number 55, we're reaching this game. Number 90 on the last airplane here, the unusual one we see on the Team Rocket League, that's Sam Maxwell, number 69, a Legal Eagle. And the yellow and black Bully B, number 11, I believe was the last airplane on. So now, as we try to pick him up on the backside of the course, the red and white airplane, which we think is number 1 of Mike Binquit, who's being challenged right off the bat by Danny Mortensen in the AMSOL Pacific Flyer. Then, third place is that orange and yellow. It should be number 55, it looked like from here. Yeah. Now, as we pick them up on that number 6 turn on this sport biplane course, it looks like it should be, yes, I believe it's Mike Binquit, but he just lost that number 1 position to Andy Mortensen in race number 91. And then number 55 is the third place airplane. And fourth airplane, I can't discern right now who that is. Soon you'll see no smoke. Then, after Bob has those Victor engines, very competitive. So he and I have this little bet. And it has to be little because I lose almost all the time. Well, I say Bob can't do all the things that he says he's going to do now. Normally he likes to really play the wind. But there's no wind out here, as you can tell. A little trail of red smoke now for identification coming out behind Bob there as he completes the inside or barnstormer's loop. So I bet Bob a quarter again today that he can't roll clear in from front of the crowd without ever restarting the engines in the Strike Commander. Now if he's got enough speed, he'll do an 8-point roll. Nose coming up. Okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, those 2 maneuvers were real well done. Here's a 180-degree turn. So we'll see how well Bob does with his entire energy management series. Now remember, the bet is he's got to come clear up here in front of the stands without ever restarting the engines. That means he's got a long, long ways to go. I'll get him when he makes that 90-degree turn off the runway. What's this? Hey, Sandy. I think Bob is down on the runway. Looks like he's coming down the taxiway. That can't be a bet. That's got to be a no bet, Sandy. Get your quarter after us. Come on, he's supposed to land on the runway and then make a 90-degree turn. Get your quarter out, Driscoll. I've seen this happen before. You guys are in cahoots. Well, as you can see, he's still running out of energy. Because there's no wind, there's no way he's going to make it clear up here. See how slow he's getting? And remember that Reno slopes from east to west. Are you kidding? Look, he could go clear to Sparks. Probably right. You probably have to put on the brakes now to make this turn. He'll do anything for a quarter. Look at this. Those Victor engines are even great when they're shut off. Look at this, still going, still going. If he squares up this airplane, that's it. Look at this. How about that? Can you believe that, ladies and gentlemen? Just right up there. He's got a couple of switches he's got to shut off out there. 27 straight years from Los Angeles, California. Bob Hoover. Okay, Sandy.
turn at 7½ times the force of gravity. During this maneuver, the 10-gravity bolt will normally weigh 170 pounds, will feel the weight of 1,275 pounds.
Get the figure. About midfield, approximately on the duty.
Military tactical jet aircraft possesses a vast array of capabilities, but one asset unique to Navy and Marine Corps tactical jets is that they must be able to complete their mission.
Demonstration.
Hi, how you doing?
The F-18 Hornet is manufactured by McDonnell Aircraft Company in St. Louis, Missouri. The Hornet is powered by two General Electric turbofan and execute a series of high stick deflection aileron rolls to an altitude of nearly
him. It gets off the ground usually in number 69. Very. It looks like in fifth right now is Dan Gray. We'll pick them up right now as they come across start finish line. The green flag waving to the line. Dan Gray, and both handed it back against Carroll in the other pusher airplane.
I want the shower. It's lower. Quiet. Yeah. I'm in the shower, you know, that's
They shattered all of those records, broke a half a dozen records on yet another run to altitude, and even reduced that time even more. Now the U-2 was originally designed as a reconnaissance airplane, and it's been used, I want you folks to notice the unusual landing gear configuration on this airplane. At the forward part of the fuselage is a very large set of double wheels, and the smallest set toward the rear.
all the guys. Must go surface, they can fix it.
By the way, it is a powered glider. 17,000 pounds of thrust was the first engine. It was not unusual for the airplane to flame out over certain states in the country. Let's everybody give the U-2 a wave. In one instance, one of the U-2...
down in Texas in June earlier this year. Jim Watt, number 42, his Hawker Sea Fury with a big transporter. And of course, last but certainly not least, all the way from Austin, Texas, the old Colonel himself, Let me tell you a little bit, it's him taking off right now. The unlimited airplanes, ladies and gentlemen, are getting so fast with their modifications. Where the problem is on the back chute, when Bob brings them down to open the race, they're indicating at 400 miles an hour. Steve Hinton was making a movie for Disney Studios on 1930 race planes here about 3 weeks ago. And upon takeoff in the Miles Atwood special, Steve had an engine failure. He managed to get the airplane into a cornfield, but he landed very hard, and he suffered a compressed vertebrae that he do not. And Steve said he felt great, but he has relegated himself to fly the base plane. Now, what better hands could the base plane be in? Now is Bob puts on the show for us out here, folks. Preparatory to those unlimited airplanes coming in. Look at that 16-point roll. There's halfway. There's 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 definite stops in a 16-point hesitation roll. Okay, now while we're waiting for our unlimiteds to be brought in, those of you sitting on Steve Hinton will be listening over the PA system as he will be talking to the pilots, telling them about the increments of power as he's bringing the Red Knight Cup. In the meantime, it never gets dull out here. Bob Hoover and Old Yeller out there doing his thing. And then
I did not get out of there until after.
again, let me run down those list of pilots and airplanes. Jerry Mott in the hot receive Fury number 20 with the big engine. And then Lloyd Hamilton in a Stalker. But Lloyd Hamilton is so wise on that race course, having been at it just about as long as I can remember up here. Lee Cutchett, Ryan Sanders, another hot receive Fury. Another P-51, Kevin Eldridge with the Chino kids down in Chino, California. Jimmy Mott and another hot receive Fury, but this one here, Jimmy had to re-engine the airplane, as we had mentioned earlier, and the engine back structure, it looks like 3 Sea Furies out in the lead at this point. And I believe that looks like Cutter, Dave Cutchell out there to the far right. 1 airplane, 3 airplanes staying up very high as the unlimited stick to the course. As they pass by the lead airplane, now goes by number 4. Now they pick out a field left right straight ahead. There's pylon number, no, that's number 4. Pylon number 4 right there. There we see them as they start getting the sun off the wingtip. Now pylon number 5 right there. Now on the hill, the highest pylon on the course and the fastest portion of the course. Because when they come off 6, they're going downhill into the valley. Now I'm going to let you listen to these huge engines of over 4,000 horsepower as they come to us, lining up on 8.
Yes, they are. Whoa.
And it's Lloyd Hamilton in the lead of the we can see it looked like James moving up, but it's Dennis Sanders, I believe, right now in the lead. Now, as our airplane's up on high, that's a 51 of Dean Cutter Cutchell and Jerry James. Now those cockpit temperatures will be coming up as well as the oil temperature. They're not looking at the gauges right now. They've got their minds down there on the pylon turns. And here they come. There's Lefty Gardner! And you can see just what I mean if you'll buy that film of Jim Mitchell's on Skyfire down there called White Lightning, where he features a Lefty Gardner story. Go get him, Lefty! That flies a lower course than Lefty. I know he's flying at 51, but I love to hear those twin Allisons on that P-38. Kevin Eldridge is way back. That's does Jimmy Mike. Saying, I don't know what Lefty's done to that 51, but Knew he'd
Sure
find
got the catch out there.
Had a suspicion
All
of you
right,
around
now
here.
Lefty Gardner puts it around that pylon turn. He knows where he's at low to the ground. He should be. He's been at this most of his life. And Jerry J starting to pour it on. The white flag comes out. This is going to be it.
I don't know if he went down to the end and saw planes at the end.
Great car. Right now, okay, good direct your attention, going to the left. At the takeoff portion of the runway, you'll see Leo Wallenslager in the Bud Light 200, and they are truly the Americans the world looks up to. This observation of a teammate after Leo won the World Championship at Wisconsin. Winning the World Championship was only a small part of the dream. A total commitment to excellence started. Leo was in the Air Force as a maintenance man on the B-52s and the nearby Travis RA. Bob Hoover and Mr. Dwayne Cole performed aerobatics over the desert floor. From that day forward, Leo set his sights on the greatest challenge he could imagine, to be able to fly an airplane with such precision as that, and then to win the World Aerobatic Championship. When Leo started the quest, there was not an aircraft available that he considered capable of challenging the Russian and tested piece by piece until it became the world's premier aerobatic aircraft. Since that time, the Bud Light 200 has been copied by many countries, including the USSR, West Germany, England, Australia, and New Zealand. During the quest for aerobatic excellence, the Bud Light 200 has set these standards that will stand for many years to come. That is the 1980 World Champion Absolute, the World Aerobatic Competition, and if that was not enough, the first aviator to put aerobatic flying and aviation on a level of other great sports figures such as Johnny Rutherford, Sugar Ray Leonard, George Brett, Edwin Moses, Mary Decker, Stan Musial, Jim Plunkett, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Wayne Gretzky. And this was accomplished in Las Vegas, Nevada, when Leo received the victory. Leo is to being ready. Leo, are you there?
I am Denny. Somebody else to bring on a good air show beside the plane our pilot. And that's where you come in, partner. It's great working with you. The cockpit checks are done. The cap is down locked. The temps are in the green. The power's coming on. It's great to be in Reno again. On behalf of all your liberty.
We'll pull back on the stick. We'll get a snap roll on takeoff as the great Leo, the Looper Laubenslager, returns to the Reno Air Rings. How about this? How about a knife-edge flight and a little wave at the rudder? And then rolling the wings level again, you can see the sign Bud Light on the top. And on the Bud Light Air Force, Leo performing now the Bud Light 200 as he goes to the half-Cuban 8 turnaround. Coming back inside now. Watch here as he gets level, does the slow rolls on the way down. As he continues to work down on the altitude, you see the high wing roll. Now he recovers to the inverted flight position, holds it there momentarily. The speed picks up to about 175 miles an hour. Now pushing the stick forward. All the gravity forces trying to force Leo out of the cockpit, held in by a double set of safety belts and a set of shoulder harnesses cinched very, very tight down to that 45-degree down line. Now we see the snap to half turn on the way back down. Start finish line on the speed picks up to about 185. The clean aerodynamic lines of the Bud Light 200 and the Laubenslager inspired design across the top. Now right about in here, on top of the loop, Leo executes the inverted snap roll from upside down to upside down once again. Now, immediately after completing that, you get an idea of the fast ring roll as he picks up the nose and rolls once and twice. 2 rolls in a period of about 1.5 seconds. Now on the way up once again, he rolls the aircraft, defying gravity. As the sleek airplane continues to pick up altitude and sets up into a maneuver we call the wingtip pirouette. Straight back down from that. Now once again, he'll be coming back in from your right and executing the very crisp and competitive 4-point hesitation roll. Done with such crispness as all the championships that this man has won. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now the 4-point roll complete. Now as Leo makes his turnaround maneuver, the half-Cuban 8 or 5/8 of a loop. We'll watch for him to recover from the upside down position with 1.5 turn snap roll. That'll happen right about in here all the way way around 1.5 times back to the right side of position. Now from this point, he's going to draw a loop in the sky. This loop, however, will have sides. It's all called a square loop. Straight up on the right side is the first side of the box. He'll fly now long and upside down across the top. That's the top of the box. This last one, as the earth comes up to meet him very rapidly, straight back down, falls back on the stick, and the fourth side across the bottom, and you have... Now, coming back into the next maneuver on the way up, doing the point rolls, hesitating each time, 1, 2, 3, and 4 across the top. Now watch for the hammerhead turn. On the way back down, we'll see if he has enough energy to execute the snap roll. There it is, the snap roll on the way down. Now, he'll come back in and do yet another version of the loop. We saw the loop with a snap on top. We just saw the square loop. Now watch this loop. This is called the 8-sided loop with a big stop sign in the sky. Here's number 1. There's number 2 straight up. Number 3 right here is an up 45-degree line in relation to the horizon. Upside down and across the top, straight level. Number 4, number 5 right here. Number 6 is straight down. The last 45 is number 7. One more pull of the stick across the bottom, and you have the 8-sided loop. How about a big round of applause for Leo Laudenslager, defying this density altitude today. Manitowoc Aviation providing the great and powerful engine on board the aircraft, and of course it is a Lycoming engine. Now the brake. Now watch for 2.5 turns of a snap roll on the 45-degree down line. Right about in here, there's 1. Keeps it going, there's 2. Now recovers to the inverted flight position, there's 3. And now Leo, don't do this to me. He does the knife edge outside 360-degree turn we refer to as the Ilaguan circle. That rolls the airplane to the inside position on the last way around that loop. Outside, halfway around, inside the remainder of the way around. The inside, outside 360-degree turn. Forced against the belt to 5 Gs one direction and against the seat 5 Gs the other direction. Now Leo doing the half Cubanate turnaround maneuver once again to reposition him back into the aerobatic area. 5/8 of the loop has him coming back in upside down. He does 2 points of a 4-point hesitation roll. Continues with 4 points of a 4-point hesitation roll to the inverted flight position. Getting ready now for the outside loop. Pushing forward on the stick once again. All the gravity is trying to force Leo towards that clear plexiglass canopy. Across the top, the speed dissipates to just above the stalling speed of the wing. On top of that maneuver, he half rolls the airplane. Now, the first half of the loop executed to the outside or negative G environment. The last half of the loop executed to the positive or inside G maneuver. Get the cameras ready, because after Leo turns around off to the left side, he's going to come back in and do what he calls the computer roll. Now, believe it or not, on one pass, from your left to your right, he'll start with a double inside snap roll. Immediately, he'll do a full roll to the left. Immediately, he'll do a half roll to the right. Immediately, he'll do a 1/2 outside snap roll. Immediately, he will do a 3/4 roll to the right and conclude with a 3/4 outside snap. You don't believe it? Watch this. Here it comes right on in here. Let's try the double snap. Okay, how about a complete roll to the left? How about a half roll to the right? How about a half outside snap? How about a 3/4? And how about a 3/4 outside snap? Ladies and gentlemen, he did it. How about a big round of applause for the looper? Leo getting ready for turning around to do the next maneuver called the torque roll at Air Show Center. Diving for speed, close to 200 miles an hour. He pulls back on the stick. Now watch him start the vertical rolls on the way up. Defying that density altitude once again. The speed dissipates very rapidly. He will bring it to a complete stop, but still roll the airplane while backing up on the torque of the Manitowoc engine. Straight back down through his own smoke again. Leo brought to you this weekend by his official sponsor, Budweiser, and the snap roll on the way down. We would like to thank all of our friends from Budweiser who are responsible on the nationwide tour for allowing us to be able to enjoy the Bud Light Air Force, which consists of this airplane, the Bud Light 200, and the Bud Light Jet, the world's smallest jet, a Bud Light jet capable of speeds of 300 miles per hour, and that is the Bud Light Air Force, brought to you by Bud Light in the major cities across North America. Now coming back in once again, setting back up. As Leo sets up for the corporal roll, he pushes, he pulls, he pushes, he pulls. Now watch right about in here. Let's snap roll the airplane. Once, twice, 3 times. Holds it in there, number 3, and recovers. You look back up into the sky, and you see the head of a cobra snake about ready to go. Aerodynamics in civilian-owned sport competition airplanes have come a long way. Leo's going to be doing an inside or barnstormer's loop. Believe it or not, across the top of that loop, after a roll, right about in here, the snap roll, he'll fly across the top in knife-edge flight, relying on aerodynamics and the Manitowoc Lycoming engine to provide him power across the top and completing the second half of the loop. machine gun type maneuvers that are required to please international judges in world competition. If you don't work yourself to death like Leo is doing here, you cannot win. And we're soon going to go to the cockpit, and you'll hear that Leo will be very short of breath as he talks to us from the cockpit, much like a person that you would try to interview running a triathlon contest. So Leo back there, show center once again. Right about here, he pulls back on the stick, straight up into the sky, as he references now the horizon. Now there's the bud light on the side. Now here's another maneuver that's very unusual. That was only developed in years past. The 4-point sectional hammerhead turn. 1, 2, 3, and 4 hesitations across that hammerhead turn. Now off to the right once again, we'll get a variation of the vertical climb. It will be a point series as he does 1 and 2 points of an 8-point hesitation slow roll. Sets it up now. He'll be soon setting up for the standing S. Now once again, as we're talking about defying gravity, watch this as he heads up for the S, drawn in the sky, done the hard way from the ground up with a civilian-owned aircraft. Across the top now, you see he's lit off those wingtip smoke canisters. The bottom of the S is now complete. Continues to fly that S. Now he's going to have to push the stick forward to be able to gain the altitude in the negative or outside G environment. Now nobody knows this airplane like Leo does. He will push every knot of speed out of the airplane, playing it right across the top, defying this heat and density altitude, and there you see the standing S. How about a big round of applause for Leo? Okay, we're going to the cockpit now as Leo gets ready to dedicate the next maneuver. Leo, it's all yours.
All right, Danny.
Everything else after this is just a light, so watch this as Leo gets ready for this tumbling maneuver. Right about in here, he'll go into knife edge flight, rolling all the way around, and the airplane tumbles nose over tail over nose over tail. The momentum stops, he picks up the horizon, and the give it your best lunchabuck is complete. And I don't know if you can hear it or not, but he said, the crowd yesterday from Czechoslovakian slang is the equivalent in Czechoslovakian of drinking too much plum brandy. The quadruple snap roll, 1, 2, 3, and 4 across the top. Now get ready. Direct your attention out to the start-finish pylon. Out there you can see the crew from the Bud Light Air Force. They have 2 poles. The poles are only a couple of feet wider. Then the wingspan of the Bud Light 200. Leo will be coming in, flying between those poles to cut the ribbon. Now get the cameras ready for Leo. Coming from your left, get the cameras ready to focus on those ribbons. You can see also that the poles are not very high. He's going to have to work awful close to the ground. Now the part that I didn't tell you, he's going to try this upside down as he rolls the airplane in the inverted flight position. Down, lower, and lower comes the rudder. As you can see it making its way down towards that very, very hard concrete runway. A few minor corrections with the aileron and the rudder. And clips that ribbon clean and snap rolls the airplane into a half snap in a knife edge flight. The rudder waggle, and Leo breaks the ribbon clean. Lays to an inverted wave. Everybody give him a wave up and down the line because he'll be looking out that canopy to see your enthusiasm. Now keep your eyes on Leo. The mark of all the champions that fly for you here each and every year is that they are not fit. Have to be somewhat lower to make it. Now he is lower, but he is way too fast. Well, remember, you're talking about the champion. So this is the landing we call the Leo the Looper landing. So far we got 2 big loops. Still over relatively close to the threshold of the active runway. Upside down once again. Now he's going to dissipate that altitude, but once again the speed will pick up. He's got to lead off all that speed. Now watch how he does this. Remember how he started his routine? Down off the deck, rolls the airplane once, twice, 3 times. Into knife edge flight. Is that the way he started? I think it is. Still way too fast, perhaps 150 miles an hour. So a side slip maneuver. Down he comes, dissipating the speed with the side of the fuselage. And a beautiful 3-point landing as he has done so many times.
Inverted. Jimmy breaking that altitude down and cross out to the bar. Into 3 now, and here right to the ground there. Snap roll 4, now 5. Straight out now when the speeds come through 220 miles an hour. As he comes down through shoal center and vertical into the sky. Exit snap roll, reversion, lunge shot, nose to tail, tail for nose, upside down and out of control, and now the worst configuration any pilot can get into, the flat inverted spin. A maneuver that's carried many pilots and their planes Franklin out to the left-hand side and vertically into the sky. And in a little while, you're going to see this steerman combat the Watno. Over the top now with Family 9 style, turn around to the inverted position now, aiming it right at the ground, all the way down from the left-hand side, snap roll 1. And then Jimmy Franklin, switch smoke on the far right-hand side, let's get up to that. Pulls off, straight down, speed 290, 100, 200 miles an hour. Then he comes through Shoal Center from the right-hand side, vertically into the sky now, and starts to roll the aircraft. At the top, the aircraft no longer wanting to climb. He will leave the engine in the high rev position. Reverse the ailerons right now. Torque down through smoke. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Makes that airplane back. Out of it. Is that fun? Oh yeah! He comes out of it. And Jimmy Franklin leaves his signature in the skies over Reno, Nevada. And Elliott Cross now at the far right-hand side, circling around and bringing it towards Shoal Center. Jimmy Franklin over the top. Family 9 style turnaround. Sucking it over the top. On the way down to snap roll. Straightening it out now, looking for the speed to go through 205 miles an hour. As he goes to Shoal Center. Vertical at Shoal Center on the show line. Vertically into the sky this time. He pulls the engine back and he gets quiet. And he tail slides backwards. 1, 2, 2.5 lengths of that airplane in the payoff. Out of that, with a snap roll, going out, far right-hand side. Jimmy Franklin from Reno, New Mexico, the Watno mystery ship. Up at the far right-hand side, now vertically into the air. He goes for all the power of that engine. Over the top of the Family 9 style turnaround, keeping this aircraft at all times within the picture window of the air show, within the view of the spectator. Down low now comes Jimmy Franklin, going vertically into the sky. Up over the top, snap roll at the top. For you ladies, A Heart in the Sky by Jimmy Franklin here at Reno for all the gals in the audience. Down within 5 feet of the ground. Floating on the ground, goes off the front to the inverted 2. Tonight base flight is 3. Wings on the horizon, full flight. Hesitation roll now high overhead. Then we outside slipping it over the top and now reversing it right down towards the ground. Spin 1. Spin 2. Nose down. 3, 4, 5, 6. Time to get out of that, Elliott! Oh yeah! Out of that! Out of that! Up on one side of an 8-sided loop now, too. Elliott Cross bringing it over the top of the snap roll. Across the top of the 4th side of an 8-sided loop for Jimmy. Over the top was Elliott Cross. Right-hand side. Bringing it down to side 7 and now side 8. Elliott Cross down low and out to the far right-hand side. Jimmy Franklin, slow roll, right through Shoal Center. Elliott Cross penetrating straight into the sky now to the far left-hand side, right-hand side. Over the top, Jimmy Franklin over the top of the half Q&A turnaround. Elliott Cross with the bunt maneuver, shooting the 6 roll. Down with it, taking the ground comes Jimmy Franklin now with a nice slow roll on a 45-degree line. Elliott Cross down low and out from the left and right. Elliott Cross very left Shoal Center. Half a roll on the way up, touch the stick back and slack. Over the top at about 40 miles an hour in less than 3 seconds to 108 miles an hour. And out the far right-hand side with super steering down within 10 feet of the ground. And out the far right-hand side, you can leave it in the inverted position, ladies and gentlemen. Elliott Cross, the super steering, in from the far right-hand side, down towards the ground. Down to within 10 feet. Now, rolling into the upright position, calling on all the power of that crack winging to carry him again back into the sky. Jimmy Franklin circling in the far left-hand side, Elliott Cross circling around now, and he'll be going out the far right-hand side. And what you're about to see, they face each other now, adversaries. Easy to tell which airplane switch. 12 comes on. Jimmy Franklin starts pulling up, Elliott Cross rolls to the inverted position, looking over his shoulders. Jimmy Franklin trying to get the altitude, trying to get the advantage. Over the top now, Elliott Cross down below. Jimmy Franklin circling around. Elliott Cross doing his best to get on his tail. And he's got it. He's got on Jimmy's tail. He's down below Jimmy's not Jimmy's got the height advantage. Over the top of the stalling turn. Jimmy Franklin brings it down. Starts pulling it back. Elliott noses down below. Sucks his stick back in his lap. Comes over the top. Jimmy Franklin climbing back into the sky. Elliott Cross down below. Jimmy Franklin directly above him. Over the top now. And starting down again at Elliott Cross. Elliott banks it out to the right. Jimmy Franklin sees his maneuver. Banks it around.
turns it around sharply, and he got on his tail. Elliott Cross going vertical, and Jimmy can get vertical behind him. He did it. And Elliott Cross got peppered by the machine gun. He got over the top. And Jimmy Franklin curling it around tight over the top. And writing that story of combat in the sky. Over the top now, Jimmy Franklin stalls it just a little bit. Wants a little distance between him and his adversary. Peppering away. Jimmy got him. Jimmy got on him, and Elliott Cross is in trouble. Jimmy's on his tail. Hey, Elliott! Jimmy, make your foot, boy! You're in trouble! He's on your tail! He goes up into the sky now. Jimmy Franklin right behind him. Peppering away at him. Is that some kind of flying? Oh, yeah! And he comes over the top now. Jimmy Franklin does the half roll. He's reading your book, Elliott. He's reading your book. You better do something different. Into the top now they go. Who can hold out the longest is going to be the winner. Jimmy paid off first. They went vertical, and Jimmy paid off first. Elliott is now on Jimmy's tail. Jimmy, fly it out, boy. And Elliott Cross coming inside behind him now. Jimmy Franklin ready to sharp around. Elliott Cross coming down to the left. They go Jimmy runs to the left and the right. Jimmy Franklin doing a stolen turn. Elliott Cross out in front of him. Jimmy down below. Squeeze to Jimmy. Elliott goes stick back. Jimmy's got him in sights again. Peppering away. Elliott goes over the top. Jimmy Franklin just below him. Jimmy Franklin sees he's in trouble. Rolls it over the top. Rails it out. Elliott Cross read him perfectly. Came out right behind him. Hey, Jimmy! Your turn to be chased. Crossing in that smoke. Are they at the same altitude? Oh, yeah! As they come over the top. Yeah, yeah! Jimmy Franklin is trouble now. Takes Elliott down to the ground. Vertically into the sky. And slowing around. Jimmy does flip him. Right by Elliott. Elliott can't slow it down fast enough. Jimmy's down below him. Elliott's up above. Jimmy's got him in the gunsight. Jimmy's down to the ground. Takes Jimmy down to the ground now. Pulls it back up again. Jimmy not to be undone. Staying in right behind him. Cuts the look at him. And again, Jimmy comes over the top. Right at him perfectly. Down low. Now to the bar. The right hand side. Circling around Jimmy Franklin. Going it vertical. And show line. Over the top. And down on top. Elliott again. Peppering away. Oh, yeah! That. Out to the far right hand side. And Jimmy Franklin right in behind him. Jimmy Franklin pulling it far out now. Elliott going out the left hand side. And you think we're not at the same altitude? Look at that smoke. Tied in the knot. And Jimmy Franklin rolls it out. Elliott Cross dumping it over the top. Almost mindful of airspeed, not to stall the aircraft. Down within 10 feet of the ground. Jimmy Franklin circling it around. Elliott Cross out at the far left hand side. Circling it around. Jimmy Franklin down to the send off. And around the pylon. The start finish pylon. Coming around very on Elliott. Elliott sees what's happening. Brings sharply. Then stays away from him. Pulls it vertically into the sky at the far right hand side. Jimmy Franklin circling around on the show line now. Elliott Cross made a sharp turn. Got a hold of Jimmy. Peppered away at him. Put some holes in his wing. Shuts smoke off. Elliott Cross shuts the smoke off. Have you been entertained? Oh, yeah! Upside down. Jimmy Franklin tucking in underneath of him. Mirror flight, get your cameras up. This is a pretty sight. Mirror flight. One up, one down. Oh, yeah! Is that beautiful? Oh, out to the bar, right inside. Go two of my best friends, Jimmy Franklin and Elliott Cross, the duel in the sky. And now, this comes in from the far right hand side, down within 20 feet of the ground. One, to the inverted, two, holding it there and allowing the tail to sink down to the runway. And now, rolling it again, with two flies to the upright position, holding it on knife edge, banking it out to the far left-hand side. He's circling around and coming in for a landing. They're going to land right over the,
not this year.
right over the,
This I've ever seen.
yeah, very
That voice is of Steve Hinton, the Pace Plane pilot, in the Red Knight Lockheed T-33. Actually built under license by Canadair in Canada. He didn't say real good, he said he looked pretty good. That means pulling in real tight over there. The adrenaline runs high right now. We've got a lot more show left for you. Okay, the smoke goes on the Red Knight. Listen to the mighty sound of the Unlimiteds. Collectively, we've got 6 airplanes, each averaging around 4,000 horsepower apiece. Here's what 24,000 horsepower sounds like, folks. That should be risky business. And that also should be Jerry Levitz and Robert Converse for Chip Ball. There's your second place now. Down low.
The formation sample take off. Now we'll tell you a little bit about the individuals that comprise the Bechtel Eagles. The man in the middle is the team leader for the Eagle Aerobatic team. He is Charlie Hillard in Eagle number 1. Charlie Hillard is the owner of Charlie Hillard Buick. And the man on the inside is creating or traveling less distance than the man on the outside. So there's 3 totally disproportionate throttle settings, but they make it look easy, and the barrel roll is now complete. As we turn around getting ready to come back in for the formation loop, we'll tell you about Eagle number 2. His name is Tom Pogoresny. Tom is from Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Tom was also one of the members of the 5-man aerobatic team in Salon Department, France that brought home world victory, world team victory to the United States of America. Not content with that, he became the 1973 National Aerobatic Champion. Tom is the newly elected president of the 130,000 member plus experimental Aircraft Association Aviation Foundation and the convention chairman for the EAA fly-in, Oshkosh, Wisconsin, the world's largest aviation event. He was the chief stunt pilot for the motion picture winner of the Wilkinson Award of Excellence, air show's equivalent to the Oscar or Emmy Awards. Now Charlie splits the team. They leave that V formation and go to the very tough formation of line abreast or wingtip to wingtip as Charlie gets ready to set up for the line abreast hammerhead turn. As the speed starts to dissipate now, we'll listen for the call from Charlie. Hammerhead now. And on the signal for Charlie, the formation changes. Tom was on the right, he is now on the left. Gene was on the left, he is now on the right. As Charlie comes back in and makes his way past the start-finish pylon, watch for Charlie Hillard to pull up to the vertical. He will be followed by Gene Susi to his right, followed by Tom. Second from Gene, and third from Tom. Charlie Hillard does quarter turn on the way up, followed by Gene with a quarter turn, followed by Tom with a quarter turn. Charlie now sets up for the hammerhead turnaround, followed by Gene with a quarter turn from Tom. Correct, the quarter turn from down, back to upside down once again.
And also, I switched to Dr. Clinton said that I'll be able to switch me back.
Now completing. Once again. At this time, we'd like to take this opportunity to tell you about Eagle number 3. Eagle 3 is Mr. Gene Susi. He is from McKinney, Texas. He's 70 Eagle. No strangers to Reno. With a gift. They wanted it to be a perfect gift, so they are about to unwrap that gift for you. As the smoke goes on now, Charlie departs to the left, Gene and Tom depart to the right. And on behalf of Bechtel Cellulars and the Eagles, Tom, Charlie, and Gene, the heart of an eagle will be threading the needle, flying his airplane between his 2 wingmen, but opposing from that difficult position. They're going to cross over 3 times. Looks like one another. Discipline is very important here to maintain that very strict line. Here they catch sight of one another, cross over 4 the second time. Now watch how they get back in formation. Charlie does the half give me. The wingmen do the full loop. They cross once again, and before you can say Charlie, Gene, and Tom, they are back in that V formation once again. How about a big round of applause for the Eagles? To look directly over their shoulders. Now they will allow Charlie in the middle to do that. They trust Charlie with everything, with the speed, the direction, the altitude. In fact, not knowing their relative position, only guessing by the way Charlie is maneuvering his aircraft. Maneuvering with the throttle, with the rudder, with the elevator, and with the aileron to constantly keep you in that relative spot to your leader, and then looking through your leader at the opposite wingman to maintain symmetry with the opposite wingman. So the wingman put all the trust in Charlie Hillard, and he is very, very aware of that and very responsible of that trust. And he will not begin a maneuver unless the entry speed is absolutely there, because he knows he is not the only one involved with the maneuver. Now, Charlie will keep the team high this time. As he comes in, they'll be diving down for about 185 miles an hour. They'll be executing 1/2 of a loop. Now, once the 1/2 of a loop is completed, it'll find all 3 airplanes. As we're facing down, we'll listen for Charlie Hillard to call for the brake now, and all 3 members of the team will pick a different spot on the compass and brake away. There's the half loop. They're straight down towards the earth, and there's the call for the brake. Charlie Hillard to your left. All 3 members will be pulling back on the control stick and all setting up. All 3 airplanes will roll completely around until we get a view of the bottom wing. Bechtel Cellular now is very proud to present the Eagles hammerhead turn. As they come straight back down, right about in here, watch for all 3 airplanes to execute the down vertical snap.
Want your dinner this early?
Now, part of the team, whether they are civilian or military, is the ability to get out of the head-on or collision series of maneuvers and back in formation in the shortest possible time. So watch this aerial artistry that is much a part away from the earth. They hold that vertical position, Charlie half rolls, Gene quarter rolls, Tom pulls back on the stick, and you have the maneuver we call the spread eagle. So it's got Tom Poberesny going out to your left, Charlie Hillard going out to your right, and Gene Susi out at the air show center. Now we're getting ready once again to get into the head-on series of maneuvers. But first, Gene is going to come in for us with an entry speed at air show center in Pactel number 3 of 200 miles per hour. He'll pull abruptly back on the stick to all the way around. He rolls the airplane into the complete vertical roll, holds it there momentarily. Now, high to your right, it's Charlie Hillard. High to your left, it's Tom Poberesny. As they come back in, they will be brushing the top of their top wings as they set up for the opposing 4-point hesitation roll. Number 3 to knife engine, 4 back to the right side on position. The deck, let's see. All the way up and the up vertical snap is complete. Look at Tom and Charlie once again on a tribute to snap roll Gene Susi. They execute yet another horizontal snap. For many years, as you folks know, these 3 gentlemen were part of the Reno aerobatic team. They have been together as 3 members of an aerobatic team. Over the smoke is out, high to your left. As promised, Charlie, with his BF Goodrich aviator tires pointing up towards the sky. Has a certain degree of discomfort hanging by the belt. Also remember that Charlie Hillard is the team leader. Right now he's going to turn the tables on his wingman. As he pushes forward on his control stick, they pull back on their control sticks. And before you can see, Pactel Cellular, the team has reversed. Charlie Hillard now enjoying right side up flight. The wingman upside down, still in that very tight V formation. Up right about in here as we get a little roll from everybody right to the right side up position. Now keep your eye on the team. Okay, as they come back in, on the left to our right is Tom Poberesny. On the right to our left is Gene Susi. And trailing the position is Charlie Hillard. Watch for the knife edge flight right about in here as they call for the pull and the switchblade.
of applause for Charlie G. Tom. Like all of our great performers, defying that density altitude and the hot temperatures we have here today to get the last possible knot of performance out of these aircraft.
Yeah, I don't know what that
Aren't the Eagles beautiful? About 11 different colors on the Kristen Eagle 2 biplane. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for the 1990 Eagles. They are Charlie Hillis, Don Polarizzi, and Gene Susi.
That way to go now. All right, and there you have it. Now, you can see these airplanes are big, they're tightly packed, and they all try to crowd into that first pylon turn in this 5-lap race, all at one time. Your last year's gold winner is already showing the tail end of the airplane to the rest of the group. I don't know, but it is fast. All right, now Willie leaping around for the first time, the first lap of the 5-lap race coming by start finish line. Now that speed will be a little bit faster. Remember, Willie, yesterday, a blistering 232 miles an hour on that first lap. And it's still Nick Macy and Bob Jones and Ed McNeely in that order, followed by Jim Good in the Wildcatter, and of course in John Luther bringing up the rear in the old red airplane. As they look at the tail feathers of Tom Welly in number 7, Tinker Toy, going away. Tom Welly, 52 years old. Ex-fighter pilot in World War II. Followed by a crop duster from up in Tule Lake. And following him is an airline pilot with United Airlines. McNeely, well, he is another crop duster. And of course, Jim Good. He rebuilds airplanes up here in Wyoming. And John Luther from Great State of Texas. And as Tom Welly, as he comes down, it'll be interesting to see what this second lap is. Second lap was started 276 3/4. There is a 6-second and 64 hundredths down. And these guys here are doing 232 miles an hour on the flat. Whatever they're doing to them, they won't tell you. Tom Welly's see what his speed was as compared to Al Godd's. The airplane up there kind of playing the role of safety up there. Lab Doctor, your pace airplane. And he's using Ray Shetty's airplane to be the pace airplane. That airplane used to be a former racer here at Reno. Tom Welly, former Gold Eddie Van Fossen, and Al Godd's. And folks, when that race happened on Sunday, as Welly now with a speed last time of 225. sees the shadow of Jim Good over the top of him. You'll see Bob trying to get down as low as he possibly can, getting in close to the pylon. This will force Good to go out wide, as Bob knows if he can hold on for this one lap, he won't lose that placement. He's as low as he dares go, and it's Good on the chase. Bob Jones' airplane, some people said he made his airplane like that so he'd disappear from view to the rest of
I don't think they had it. I was down there unless they got it.
Well, he's having no problem at all staying ahead of Jim Good so far.
Oh, they keep tripping.
It is almost 2/3 over. Here they come in to pylon number 4. Good is high on the outside. Here comes Reno. And then that 15 number 90, but the real race is between Bob Jones and Jim Good.